Look at this. I look like something out of a nightmare, really, don't I? And that brings me on to what today is. I don't think that's much better. I want to discuss with you about night terrors and nightmares. And a lot of people suffer with nightmares when they're anxious, they have them when they're depressed, and sometimes people just randomly get them and they don't know why. But it can really mess with our sleep patterns, not just for that night, but maybe for a couple of days later because it's still preying on our mind. And people will often just live with nightmares and night terrors and they're not getting good quality of sleep and they're in pain the next day and they're struggling and their mood is lowered. There's also an indication that long-term nightmares can increase our inflammation and cause problems because we're not hitting any of that REM sleep. We also know that they can be linked to people who have cancer and heart disease. So that's interesting. A lot of people with those conditions are more prone to nightmares and night terrors. Acupuncture helps treat them. We can also use aromatherapy with them. It's been found to be beneficial with reflexology. There's lots of acupuncture points. Unfortunately, not so many in the acupressure. However, if you are struggling and you've just woken up in the middle of the night and it is a lot to take on, you can rub along this side and rub along here. So you wake up and you kind of rub, and if it's a little one coming into the bed, rub behind the ears. You want to go for the sleep point behind here, right behind the ear, and just go right into the divot behind the ears. It's okay, little one, and rub behind their ears. It'll help to soothe them. It'll help to calm them. There's a point there called Amyam, which is for restful sleep. And it will help to soothe them post-nightmare and help to calm them down. We want to work around the wrist, and we would do some of this on their wrist. And it's what I used to do when the kids were little. If they'd had a bad dream and they'd had some nightmares, I would rub the insides of their wrists. For a girl, we go the left. For a boy, we go the right. And we just rub the insides. We focus on this portion here along the little pinky, and we can go from the hand all the way down. Just gently kind of stroking movements. You don't want to put too much pressure if it's going to be a little one. And again, we go the back of the ears, and it's more of a strokey movement. So we're just using the pads of our fingers in this sort of movement, and it'll help. And if you're having nightmares on a regular basis or terrors, especially if they're linked to trauma, more trauma, you need counselling, but come and try some acupuncture. It can really help with those night terrors and nightmares. These don't have to last. You don't have to keep suffering with them. This has been Thoughts with Points. Sleep tight. Take care.